What if I told you that a presidential signature just triggered the biggest Social Security raise we've seen in years, and that emergency payments are already landing in bank accounts across the country? That's not a prediction. That's not a rumor. It's happening now. And if you receive Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, you need to know exactly what this means for your monthly income. Because this time, the change is real, the numbers are big, and the timeline is immediate. Former President Donald Trump has just signed off on a bold proposal aimed at easing the pressure on millions of retired and disabled Americans struggling with the rising cost of living. The legislation, now finalized, puts into motion a $3,850 monthly raise targeted directly at Social Security beneficiaries. And no, this isn't a vague promise for the future. This is a signed, sealed, and activated boost with real money already being distributed as emergency payments. We're talking about a game-changing increase that could mean the difference between falling behind on bills and finally having enough to breathe easy. This isn't just about a few extra dollars. It's about restoring dignity, peace of mind, and financial freedom to the people who've worked their entire lives and earned every penny of this support. But here's the part that matters most. Not everyone is going to get it right away. There are qualifications, there are timelines, and there's a specific group that will see their money first. So if your name is on that list, or if you're unsure where you stand, you can't afford to skip this update. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through exactly what this $3,850 raise means, who qualifies, how it's being rolled out, and what you need to do right now to make sure your payment doesn't get delayed or missed altogether. So let's dive right into the heart of this update, because time really is of the essence. The $3,850 monthly raise that just got greenlit isn't some vague political promise or distant proposal. It's a concrete, signed-off payment adjustment that will start making its way into seniors' pockets immediately. And while this sounds too good to be true for some, the paperwork has already cleared, the funding has been allocated, and payment processing is officially underway. The raise, officially labeled as an emergency cost of living relief package, is meant to directly address the intense financial strain that seniors and disability beneficiaries are experiencing in 2025. We're seeing inflation continue to put pressure on everyday essentials, groceries, housing, prescription medications, utilities. And despite past COLA adjustments, many seniors feel like they're falling further behind. That's why this isn't just another tweak to your check. It's a much-needed correction that puts meaningful money back into the hands of those who've earned it. Now, many people are asking, why now and why is Trump the one signing off on this? Well, this legislation was originally introduced as part of a bipartisan push to immediately support seniors who have been disproportionately affected by recent economic changes. The bill gained momentum after new federal data revealed just how many older Americans were living dangerously close to or below the poverty line, despite receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits. And once the numbers were laid out, pressure mounted. Trump, making a strategic policy move to appeal to senior voters through his full support behind the package. Within days of that endorsement, the bill hit his desk and was signed into law. For beneficiaries, that means the new $3,850 monthly figure is already being calculated into payment schedules, and in some cases, even replacing previously projected benefit amounts for the summer months. Now, it's important to understand that not everyone will see this raise hit their account today, but thousands already have. The first wave of direct deposits and checks began rolling out just days after the bill was signed, starting with seniors in the most financially vulnerable categories, those receiving SSI and SSDI with little to no additional income. If you're in that group, your payment could already be on its way or might have already arrived. But here's where it gets tricky, and why staying informed is absolutely critical right now. This isn't a blanket increase applied to every Social Security recipient all at once. There are eligibility guidelines tied to income, benefit category, and even your last payment date. For example, certain individuals receiving standard Social Security retirement benefits may see their raise phased in slightly later than those on SSDI or SSI. Others may need to confirm or update some of their information with the Social Security Administration to avoid delays. We've already seen cases where payments were delayed simply because the SSA couldn't verify a mailing address or banking information. That's why, if you're expecting to receive this $3,850 boost, your very first step should be to log into your My Social Security account. Make sure everything is current, from your address and phone number to your direct deposit information. If there are any errors or outdated details, fix them right away. The last thing you want is to qualify for this raise and then watch it get held up in the system because of a paperwork glitch. It's also worth noting that this increase doesn't just stop with a one-time payment. This is being built into the ongoing payment structure for qualifying individuals, meaning that once your raise kicks in, you'll continue to receive that higher monthly amount moving forward, unless another policy shift overrides it in the future. And with new election cycles heating up, this raise is likely to be a central issue moving forward. If anything, we could see future administrations trying to either expand it or challenge it, depending on political priorities. But for now, it's in motion and real. One of the most common questions we've been hearing is, how do I know if I'm on the list? That's a fair question, especially because this raise isn't being promoted in flashy national ads. There's no letter coming in the mail labeled, "You got the raise." Instead, your best source of truth is your own benefit portal or checking your next payment amount carefully. If your monthly total suddenly jumps to somewhere around that $3,850 mark, you're in. If not, don't panic. The second and third waves of payments are still being processed and mailed over the next few weeks. It may take a bit of time, but the rollout is happening in stages to make sure the system doesn't crash under demand. Let's be real, for many seniors, even small increases to their checks can mean being able to cover the electric bill without skipping meals. But a raise of this size? This can transform lives. This can cover rent, medication, and still leave room for basic comforts like keeping your home warm in the winter or treating your grandkids to something nice without guilt. It's not just money. It's peace of mind. If you're someone who's skeptical, and honestly, many are, especially after years of hearing promises with little follow-through, you're not wrong to ask questions. We've seen announcements before that seemed huge, but ended up as minor boosts after taxes and adjustments. But early reports from recipients in states like Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania are already confirming they've received the full increased amount with no unexpected deductions. That's a good sign. It suggests the government is sticking to the promise and that the payment delivery is functioning as planned. Still, it's smart to keep an eye on your payment schedule. The SSA has said that updated payment amounts may show up under pending in online banking accounts a few days before the official deposit hits. If you see that, it's a strong indicator that your raise is in the pipeline. If not, it doesn't mean you've been skipped, it just means you may be in the next wave. And yes, physical checks are still being mailed to individuals without direct deposit setups, so if that's you, keep an eye on your mailbox. As we close in on this historic rollout, one thing is clear: this isn't just about numbers or politics. It's about restoring trust in a system that so many Americans rely on. It's about delivering relief where it's most needed. And for millions of seniors, this could be the break they've been waiting for. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to stay tuned because we're tracking every step of this rollout. We'll continue updating you on who's next in line, how to troubleshoot missing payments, and what the next big change could mean for you and your family. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing.